Then Judas, who betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I betrayed innocent blood. But they said, What is that to us? See thou to it. And he cast down the pieces of silver into the sanctuary and departed. And he went away and hanged himself. And the chief priests took the pieces of silver and said, It is not lawful to put them into the treasury, since it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and brought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field is called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled what was spoken through Jeremiah the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was priced, whom certain of the children of Israel did price, and they gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. There is a horribly misused and abused axiom. You can't legislate morality. But what it's supposed to mean is that while laws can constrain harmful behavior with the threat of punishment, the law itself does not convert an evil heart. The Pharisees here are a perfect example of what the saying is supposed to mean. They are also an illustration of the horror which occurs when you give the saying the meaning that people wrongfully attach to it. Many fools try to assert that there shouldn't be a correlation between law and morality. That's nonsense. Law must be based upon morality. And by morality, I mean God's eternal, immutable principles, and not the politically fashionable ethos of the age for it to be valid. The law itself then becomes a schoolmaster to those who live under it until it becomes written on their heart as an internal guide to their behavior. The priests separated law from personal morality and believed themselves to be clean. Just imagine the audacity and mental gymnastics required to think it is acceptable to pay Judas 30 pieces of silver to deliver Jesus to a sham trial, and yet consider it unlawful to accept that very same money which was paid to Judas for his deceit. Again, just imagine going to the clergy to confess conspiracy to murder, only to get their cavalier response, What is that to us? And exacerbate that with the fact that they are the very ones with whom you conspired. I tried to find out where exactly the Old Testament prohibited the priest from accepting Judas's money, and I found two different sections. The first is really interesting because it's the section that all the commentaries cited, which was Deuteronomy 23:18. That reads, You shall not bring the fee of a prostitute or the wages of a dog into the house of the Lord your God in payment for any vow, for both of these are an abomination to the Lord your God. Now, if this is what they meant, they're basically admitting that Judas had been their whore. They used him to achieve their goal and their desire, and now they discarded him like trash. That says so much. But I dug a little deeper, searching for the phrase blood money, and I found something that seems more appropriate in Numbers 35. And it's even more startling because of the foreshadowing, and it probably helps explain Judas's suicide. If someone commits clear-cut murder, such as lying in wait and striking them with a weapon, they could immediately be put to death by the avenger of blood. If, however, you killed someone without intent, you could flee to a designated sanctuary city to await trial. Then we get to verse 31. Moreover, you shall accept no ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of death, but he shall be put to death. And you shall accept no ransom for him who has fled to the city of refuge, that he may return to dwell in the land before the death of the high priest. You shall not pollute the land in which you live, for blood pollutes the land, and no atonement can be made for the land for the blood that is shed in it, except by the blood of the one who shed it. You shall not defile the land in which you live, in the midst of which I dwell. For I, the Lord, dwell in the midst of the people of Israel. You see, Jesus is himself the sanctuary city to whom we must all flee. Yet at the same time, it is his blood for which we are all guilty. Let's go back to Isaiah 53, which we just read. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. And upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace. And with his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Judas is no more guilty than you or I. We are all guilty of Jesus' blood. Here's the difference. Judas realized he was a sinner. He recognized that he was guilty and did not deserve to live. Now, it's not popular to say such things today, but that is actually the first half of the gospel. No one will flee to safety unless they know that they are at risk. Unfortunately for Judas, he believed the gates were shut. The rejection from the Sanhedrin confirmed this.